Stay with me until the end of this video. If this is your first time to Cannes, or if you're thinking about going to Cannes for the first time, these are 8 things you should consider. Number 1, it's very family friendly. Nothing wrong with that, but it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're into partying and nightlife and crazy day parties and you're looking for a party destination, maybe Cannes may disappoint you. There are some nightclubs, there are some places to have fun, but it's very family friendly. It's mostly visited by French people and usually families, so you're gonna see families everywhere. If that's your vibe, then that's okay. But if you are looking for a place that is not that family friendly, then Cannes may not be for you. The front beaches, and when I say front, is the beach, all the beach that is in front of the city that you can walk in there. They're all private, so you cannot go there. You're not even allowed to go there and swim and place your towel on the sand at this place. These beaches are owned by local restaurants, and I know the beaches are public, etc. I know you roll your eyes, but there are restaurants all throughout the beach. They're in front of the city and you have to pay in order to get there. And also there are sunbeds where you also have to pay. So this is something that I didn't much like, because if you want to go there on a public beach, they're on the other side of the city, but you can't walk there. You can walk there, but it's not that walkable if you want to go on foot, because under the heat, it's about a 30-minute walk, I would say. So you need to take the bus or go there by car. But if you want to swim just there in front of the city, the bigger part of the beach is private and you have to get in to go to a restaurant to have some food or to rent a sandbed and then enjoy the sea. The next thing is that the public beaches where you can actually go there and swim and enjoy the beach and the sand, where there are no restaurants, no bars and no music, are very far away. So you have to go either at the west side or at the east side of the city. But either way, you have to take a car or a bus. So if you want to go to these beaches, you need to have another sort of transportation. You can't walk there. Also about that, the water is not that clear like anywhere, not just at the front of the city when all these restaurants are located, but also at the other parts of the city. If you go to the public beaches, again, it's clear, but it's not that crystal clear water that you see in the Greek islands, for example, or in the Caribbean. If you're used to other types of beaches, it may not seem that crystal clear to you. Cannes is a big city. Don't underestimate, because it's a tourist destination and you can walk. It's not that walkable. It's a big city. You can walk, but consider that the distances are quite long. If you're going there in the summer, walking under the sun every single day may not be the best option for you. The next one is about the food. So it's typical French cuisine. So if you're a French cuisine lover, perfect. In this case, I'm not talking about the fine dining restaurants. We're not talking about fine dining here. We're talking about food, local restaurants, and regular French food. For me, but maybe that was just me, but I'm just putting it out there in case someone else relates to that. The food was not easily digestible. I found it like a lot. Like, this is the food I had in a local restaurant, and it was a lot. Like, after that, I felt my stomach full and it was hard for me to digest. And keep that in mind, like, the food is differently cooked there, and it has a lot of olive oil, which is hard to digest if it's that much. So it depends on the restaurant, of course, but the typical French cuisine may be a little bit too much if you're not used to that type of food. The next thing is that it gets hotter than you think. It gets really hot, because I always had in mind that France is a cool country in general. Like, during the winter, it has normal temperature and most of the time it's very cool. But in the summer, it gets very hot, so be prepared for that. You won't need any jacket or cardigan, not even during the night. It's a very hot city, and especially during July or August. And let's go to the nightclubs, my favorite part. So the nightclubs tend to have a much younger crowd, except for Baoli. Baoli is the only club that was the people there were a bit older, and that's because Baoli has 3 different stages. Like, not stages. It has the terrace area, which was the bar. It was like a cocktail bar. You couldn't dance there, it was just a bar to chill and have a drink. Then there was the restaurant, an open air restaurant, a really nice restaurant. And then it's the nightclub, which is inside, indoors. And of course it opens after midnight. And you can go to the restaurant and also go to the nightclub for free. But if you want to just visit the nightclub, you will have to pay the entrance fee or a ticket. But it's worth it. The club there is iconic. I really love that. But the other club, which weren't that many to be honest, I think apart from Bali, there were 2 or 3 more nightclubs. I think 3 more nightclubs. These clubs had a much younger crowd. You would see like people in their 80s or 20s. So keep that in mind about the nightlife. And finally is the shows. I had no idea that Cannes had these amazing shows, that iconic Cirque du Soleil shows. There is a bunch of shows that you can go to with acrobatics, dancers, comedians, a bunch of shows. And to be honest, these are expensive. These were the most expensive thing I saw in Cannes. Like if you want to attend a show, if you want to watch a show, it's going to cost you like not a lot, but I mean, for me, the price was reasonable because you get the food, you get fine dining, you get the show, you get the service, the beach. It was worth it. But some shows may be more expensive. So I joined Annex show, which was a beach bar restaurant. The show was iconic. I really loved the show. And it went on and on. They had different types of shows like comedy, dancers, acrobatics. And also the food was amazing. Very good service, very nice food. And I had a really good time in general. And also after the show, you could stay there and dance. So it turns into a nightclub as well. So after the show is over, you can stay there and dance. So it was a really cool experience. So these were the 8 things about Cannes. Check out my vlog from Cannes. I will link it down in the description of the video and I will see you in the next video.